Good morning, traders. I'm Emily Advani, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Wednesday, January 29th. As we await the opening bell this morning, investors await the latest from the FOMC due out later today. Today's moves follow a bounce in stocks yesterday during regular trading. The Dow added 136 points or 0.31%. The S&P 500 climbed 55 points or just less than 1%. The Nasdaq jumped 391 points or more than 2%. Bill, let's get into today's action with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Yes, good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps. We're actually trading lower. We're down 0.14%. We were higher by 0.1% earlier, but we've since given back some of those gains. I mean, there's a lot going on today. We got a ton of big earnings coming out. We got a Fed announcement. That's really what's in focus. But, you look at some of the earnings that have already come out, ASML, TMUS, ADP, Corning, Starbucks, FFIV, they're all trading higher after the reports. And after the bell today, you get Microsoft, you get Tesla, you get META. I mean, big name companies, big tech companies, getting ready to report. Back to the Fed, though, I mean, their announcement today, they do have a Fed announcement going on today, but you're not expecting to see any changes from in interest rates. Powell's press conference will likely create volatility because, it typically does. If you look at the statistics, he creates a lot of volatility during those press conferences. A little bit is skewed because of, the volatility that was created when he was speaking during COVID. But yeah, he does create volatility. So keep in mind of that 2:30 p.m. Time frame when the press conference starts. The White House said yesterday that President Trump still plans to impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico, and he's planning to do it on Saturday. Drug sector's on watch because that RFK nomination hearings, continue today. That you can see some, sparks fly a little bit there. The drug industry does not like RFK. They really don't, and they have big lobbyists. So we'll have to wait and see if they're able to push this guy through or not. Now we're just taking a look over at Europe to see what's going on in the European action. And we are seeing, for the most part, we're seeing gains. I mean, the DAX is up 162 points or 0.76%. The ASML earnings were very beneficial to the DAX. So that's helping that market move higher. And then the FTSE's up 26, almost 27 points or 0.32%. If you look at the FTSE, I mean, it doesn't have the exposure to tech as the other exchanges, but you do see pharma moving higher, so that's really what's helping the FTSE move, show some gains. The CAC in Paris is actually trading lower. Now the CAC is down just 19 points, 0.24%. The issue here is earnings. You had some luxury stocks report earnings that were weaker than expected, and that's causing the sector to fall, which is weighing on the index. Then we're looking last night at what happened in Asia. Asia was pretty quiet, I will have to say, but the Nikkei was open. The Nikkei gained 397 points or 1.02%. AI-related stocks really showed some positive actions. And those minutes from, the Bank of Japan meeting, they did come out and, they did show that, they revealed that the central bank is maintaining a cautious stance. Not quite sure how to interpret that, but I guess that's, looking positive because the market traded higher on it. Hong Kong, Shanghai, they were both closed for the lunar holiday, New Year's celebration. Then we're turning our attention to oil. Oil's trading lower. I mean, WTI is at $73.52 a barrel, whereas Brent is at $77.19 a barrel. Down, about 0.35%. They were down higher. They were down 1%. There's a couple of factors going on here in oil that you gotta keep aware of. And number one, of course, is those API estimates that came out yesterday after the closing bell. They showed an increase of 2.86 million barrels for the week ending January 24th. You do a build in inventories, that's bad for oil prices. So later today, we get the official numbers from the EIA. Those are the official ones. Those are the ones that are really going to be causing some volatility in the markets when they come out. But that's what I have for you in terms of a morning market update, Emily.
Bill, as you pointed out, the FOMC meeting and that latest announcement on monetary policy is what people are really watching today, but along with those big name earnings. So we're really trying to keep track of information on two important fronts. You're doing this using your NewsWare, and earnings action certainly is hot today. So let's start there. Bill, give us a rundown of what we should be watching when it comes to earnings.
Well, a lot came out. I mean, one of the ones I just saw, come out early this morning was ticker NSC, Nancy, Sam, Charlie, Norfolk Southern. They reported a beat of 10 cents, and it was done on, slightly lower revenue. You look at the stock, it's actually down 0.5% this morning. Then you're talking Starbucks, ticker SBUX. They beat by 2 cents. They did it on higher revenue. Um, you look at the stock this morning, it is trading higher by about 3%. It jumped up high, then it fell back down, went negative, and now it's trading higher again. You got to remember, their EPS, they're expected to be the lowest for Q2 in 2025. That's what they came out and said. Now we got to talk about Chubb, ticker CB, Charlie Boy, because they released last night, and they beat by they did deliver a beat of 57 cents. But they estimated a 1.5 billion in pre-tax costs because of the California wildfires. Stock's at 272.27. It hasn't opened up for trading yet. The bid's 272, the offer's 277. But last night I saw it trading lower, so I'm a little bit concerned with Chubb. I have to say, I think that there could be some weakness ahead in ticker CB. Plus, the put volume was very heavy the other day. NASDAQ, ticker NDAQ, they reported beat. Teva, ticker TEVA, they beat by a penny. They did that on higher revenue. You look at the stock Teva this morning, it's trading down 5.34%. But that's what I have for you in terms of earnings announcements, Emily.
Bill, you did just mention that NASDAQ and that beat. That was your pick of the day yesterday. We will check in with you by the end of the show when we do a recap on that. So stick with us. We're going to turn now to We're going to turn now to economic events. And on this front, as we mentioned, the latest on monetary policy due out today. And Bill, as you tell us, it's not just about the announcement, but it's about the comments from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell that follow in a press conference. And that's important to watch as well. So give us a look at everything we should be watching when it comes to economic events.
Listen, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we get international trading goods. At 10:30 a.m., we get the EIA oil stockpiles reports. This is going to move oil. And then at 2 p.m., we get the FOMC announcement. But then at 2:30 p.m., we get Fed Chairman Jerome Powell's press conference. Now, the question is he going to come in, dovish like Waller did in his last speech, or is he come in a little hawkish? Because the narrative around, his biggest issue that's in front of him is really Trump tariffs, which are inflationary. I mean, I don't know how you can say that they're not. I mean, they're going to be a back and forth between countries, and that's what happens with tariffs. So, if they start to see increasing, inflation, they're going to have to, I'm going to say, pause this rate hiking cycle, and they may even have to raise rates just in case, inflation actually starts to tick higher, which, that would really put Powell in the crosshairs of Donald Trump, because his term expires next year. But that's really what I have for you in terms of earnings action, in terms of economic reports, Emily.
And Bill, along with all of that information, those big name earnings, the latest from the FOMC, comments from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, you are also watching other market moving information. And I often say this on a day like today when there's big headlines, you're not only watching those, but you're watching everything underneath as well, all the stories behind the stocks. You look at things using your NewsWare like merger news, guidance news, buyback news, shareholders meetings. You also look at stocks grouped together like your FANG stocks and your Dow 30 stocks. So Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
Well, there's a lot going on. First up, let's just get to some of the earnings action that's happening this afternoon. Microsoft, ticker MSFT, their EPS is $3.13. Expected move is 4.38%. Meta, ticker META, their EPS is $6.84. Their expected move is 7.19%. And Tesla, their EPS is 75 cents, and their expected move is 9.28%. Now, Apple got hit with a downgrade this morning, and the stock is falling. Then you see, news on DeepSeek. That DeepSeek app, it's no longer available on Apple and Google's app stores in Italy. So they're actually kind of pulling that back. Now, there's a rumor out there, at least OpenAI came out and mentioned, hey, their model DeepSeek is based off of ours. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm sure there's some truth to that. So we'll see. And, then you have another story, which is really on Google. Iran, China, Russia, North Korea, they're using that Gemini chatbot to boost cyber attacks, according to Google research. Netflix, there is a new report out there suggesting that U.S. video games spending has fallen 8.9% in December. Is that because it's going to Netflix? Because Netflix now offers games on the platform. So, I mean, I'm not quite sure. Tesla, I mean, I can see a broker out there saying that they're likely to disclose vehicle sales growth, for 2025. That's not really big news, because of course they're going to say growth, because they'll do anything they can. Because Elon Musk, he'll cut prices in order to sell more cars. I mean, that's kind of what he does. He has that. He has that lever where he says, "Okay, lower prices so we can sell more cars," and he does pull that lever when needed. Then we're taking a look at Dow Jones 30 stocks. Apple is said to be in like secret cooperation with SpaceX and T-Mobile to support Starlink satellite service in its latest iPhones, satellite communication service. What else do we see here in the Dow? See Boeing getting more price target increases. Yeah, Boeing's on a tear. Listen, the earnings are up, and it's it doesn't look like there's any bad news on the horizon that can stop this stock from pushing above 205. And then from there, it's really 230 and then 275. You got to keep an eye on. You got to keep an eye on shares of Boeing. Alibaba stock gains. It says its new AI model can beat DeepSeek. I guess that's related to Microsoft. Okay, let's talk merger news for a second here. And, we got SAVE, Sam Apple, Victor Edward. This is Spirit Airlines. Frontier Airlines confirms a compelling proposal to combine with Spirit Airlines. I bet it's compelling, because the fact of the matter is Frontier needs a deal in order to stay alive. So does Spirit. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that these two weak airlines may combine. But the problem is, when you get two weak airlines combined, it just creates one weak airline. HSIC, Henry Sam, India Charlie. This is Henry Schein. KKR is taking a big stake in the company, and they're going to get 2 board seats from what I see. In terms of guidance news, Teva, ticker TEVA, they said full year 2025 EPS $2.35 to $2.65. Street estimates $2.47. Okay, not bad. Corning, GLW, Grace Larry William, they see Q1 EPS coming in 48 cents to 52 cents. Street estimates at 48 cents. So, nice for GLW. I do like that. What else do we see here? Shareholders meeting Marvel Technologies, MRVL. They're going to be showing their latest advancements at a trade show today. In terms of catalyst calls, Monday.com, MNDY, Michael Nancy, David Yellow, they were placed on a positive catalyst watch list by JP Morgan this morning. JP Morgan also put a positive catalyst watch on Mattel, ticker MAT, Michael Apple Tom. That's all I'm seeing. That's all I'm seeing for news hitting the tape this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. We've now made it to that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, what is your pick of the day today?
I'm going with I'm going to go with IBM, International Business Machines. Listen, I think there's an opportunity here. If their earnings are coming out after the bell, EPS is $3.74, and the expected move is 6.67%. You look at yesterday's call volume, 15,601 calls versus 8,373 puts, almost 2 to 1. Then you look at the open interest, 177,336 to 102,681. I mean, that's still good. I still like it. Major brokers are mixed on it. They're off. I see. That some of them are raising prices. The majority of them are raising prices. I will say. So it's mixed. But Morgan Stanley did lower their price target, but I still think there's an opportunity here. Listen, the stock's trading 226.50 right now. Let's say we get a little weakness, because I think the market could be a little weak. So if I can get into the stock at the 224 level, which is a way. I mean, think about it. We got a Fed meeting coming up. We've got some weakness going on in the market. So, you combine those two things. Yeah, it could open up a little bit of the sell-off. So if I can get in the 224 area, 224, 224.50, let's say 224.50, that would be good because I think I'll be able to pull out a gain on this stock of at least 1% when the earnings are released after the bell today. So that's my pick of the day, IBM International Business Machines, Emily.
Bill, juggling multiple factors here ahead of the opening bell, including the anticipation of the FOMC meeting, all those other big name earnings that will be coming out. IBM it is, looking for a specific entry point, and that is a tactic you've used on your pick of the day from me yesterday, and we will check in with you in that in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, take it away.
JetBlue, ticker JBLU, JetBlue and Barclays launch premier credit card with travel benefits. DJT, Trump Media and Technology, launches a TruthFi Financial Services fintech brand. OPEC Plus to take a joint stance on Trump's oil policy, according to one of the countries, one of the OPEC countries. TMUS, Tom, Michael, Uncle Sam. T-Mobile reports Q4 postpaid net accounts additions of 263,000. Ooh. They had a nice report. Victoria's Secrets announces CFO Johnson to retire. Spotify says it's paid out $10 billion to music industry in 2024. KSS Kohl's Kilo Sam announced plans to cut corporate workforce by 10%. NVO Nancy Victor Oscar, FDA gives Ozempic approval to treat kidney disease. ASML, they said that they see a flood of orders amid AI boom. Microsoft probes if DeepSeek linked group improperly obtained OpenAI data. Chinese technology company Alibaba will release a new version of its Qwen 2.5 artificial intelligence model that claims to surpass the highly acclaimed DeepSeek V3 model. That's all I'm saying this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we sign off and dive into trading on this Wednesday, let's do that check-in on yesterday's pick of the day, which was NASDAQ. As I pointed out earlier in the show, you did give us a look at the stock, a preview during your earnings rundown. They did report a Q4 EPS of 76 cents. That was anywhere from 1 to 2 cents better than analyst estimates. They've reported a Q4 revenue of $1.227 billion versus the consensus that was around the same $1.23 billion, depending on which estimates you were looking at, either met, slightly under, or actually slightly over. Their chair and CEO, Adena Friedman, did say that 2024 was a transformative year for NASDAQ. They also declared a 24 cents quarterly dividend. Bill, you were trading this one into earnings, looking for a specific entry point to get your 1% gain and get out. How did your call work out?
Yeah, it worked out. I mean, the fact of the matter was all about the entry price because, I was saying, low 81s. I want to get in the low area 81. Well, the stock opened up at $81.50. Then it fell down to $81.05. Then it rallied. It hit a high of $82.30, which, if you use my entry price, yeah, that there was the 1%. Now it closed at $81.19. And then this morning, after the earnings hit, it traded as high as $82.39. So, it has since pulled back from there. But yeah, it worked out. NDIQ was a winner yesterday. It was a winner this morning. So yeah, it got to be, positive. There was the opportunity for the gain for NDIQ, Nancy David Apple Quinton.
A winner with NASDAQ, Bill, and we will check in with you tomorrow about today's IBM pick of the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow and each weekday morning at NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Bonney, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.